Hi there, I'm Karen Strang Allen, and I'm popping on here today to talk about answering the question, why are you still single? I know myself, I have received that question a number of times over the years. And it's funny because sometimes it's meant as a compliment, how come somebody hasn't snapped you up yet? Sometimes it's said with a hint of suspicion, like, what's wrong with you if you're not in a relationship? And other times people just outwardly declare their judgment, you're just too picky or something of the kind. I think no matter what, that question can often to a single person feel invasive, and feel like there's an implied judgment behind it, or also that it's implying that being in a relationship is always a better thing. And those of us who've been single for any length of time know that's simply not true, right? You can be in a bad relationship and that can absolutely destroy your happiness. And so being in a bad relationship is most definitely not better than being single. And the flip side of it also is that being single can actually be a very empowering experience. There are many great things that go along with experiencing being single, at least for a period of time. It doesn't mean you've given up on love. It doesn't mean as a woman, that you don't like men or that you're not looking for a partner. There can be many reasons why somebody might be single. So let's take a look at a few of those reasons. I'm going to drop a link to my blog post on this topic below, where I go through it in a bit more detail. And I share some humorous reasons as well. So some of the funny reasons might be my dog doesn't snore, or I like to not have to shave my legs and try a bohemian look from time to time, right? So there can be some humorous tongue-in-cheek ways to respond to that question if you ever receive it. But there's also some really inspiring and empowering ways to answer it as well. So let's start by looking at the 5 main reasons why a woman might be single for a period of time. So, one of the most important reasons is that she's taking a period of time to heal and to rebuild her life and her confidence. And that's such a great thing. Part of why dating, online dating in particular, looks like such a, shit show, pardon the expression, is because too many people go back out dating, and they haven't done any healing work. They haven't unpacked their emotional bags. They haven't reflected on, why did my last relationship not work? And what did I have to do with that? Right? What do I need to change about myself? So it is very powerful to take some time to heal before going back out dating again, so that you're bringing your strongest, most empowered, most confident version of yourself when you're looking for a partner. If you go out dating and you're feeling lonely and unhappy, you're going to tend to attract somebody else who's feeling lonely and unhappy. And that's just not the basis for a healthy, happy relationship that lasts. The second reason is that you might just simply have some other priorities that you need to attend to first. I know for myself, I went through a period of not dating very much because it just wasn't a big enough priority relative to other things I had to attend to. I was building a business, I was taking care of 2 young kids. I was dealing with the fallout of the pandemic that impacted many areas of my life, including my kids being homeschooling and having to pivot in my business. And then I was taking care of sick family members. I had 10 family members die in a 3-year period. 2 of those, my brother and my dad, I was helping to take care of. And it just was a bigger priority at the time. And truthfully, after having lost so many people, it really knocked the wind out of my sails too. And I just needed to take some time to refocus on me and rebuild my energy. I kind of wasn't in the headspace for looking for a partner at that point in time, which has been the last few years for me. So, there can be so many reasons why a person might not want to make it priority right away. It can be career, it can be business, it can be taking care of kids or sick family members, it can be taking care of your own health if you're having a health issue of some kind. So there's lots of good reasons why a person might not make looking for a partner a priority for a while. The third reason is your standards for what you're looking for, not wanting to settle for less. If you've had a few relationships that haven't worked out, you've probably started to figure out what works for you and what doesn't, and what you're wanting in a partner and what kind of relationship you want to have. And I think it's a testament to somebody's self-worth and self-esteem and value if they've started to figure out that they deserve better and that they want a quality relationship, not any relationship. that they've actually defined for themselves what they're wanting to create, and they're willing to be patient and wait until they find the right person, versus just filling a void and picking the first person or second person they date in order to say they have someone. I remember having a disagreement with my dad at one point when my marriage ended, and he said, it's he was advising me that if we'd gone to church together, our relationship would have worked out, which I thought was cute of him to think that that was the reason it didn't work. But basically, he was saying that a successful relationship is one that goes long term. Now, don't misunderstand me. I think all of us want a relationship that goes long term, but that's not my only definition of success. I know lots of people who've been in relationships for 20, 30, 40, 50 years who are miserable together. That to me is not my definition of success. I'm looking to have an epic love relationship with somebody who's healthy, who's emotionally mature, who's responsible for themselves and their lives, who has their stuff sorted out, who's done some healing. And I'm willing to wait to find that person rather than pick somebody to ease loneliness, which is why so many people get into relationships, which is why the failure rate for relationships is so high, in my humble opinion, because people aren't looking for quality. They're just looking to fill a void. The fourth reason somebody might be single in it for a while is a little less empowering. It's that they might be afraid of making a mistake, especially for people who've been in toxic relationships or unhealthy relationships. They might really be afraid of choosing the wrong person again. And so just really hanging back. If that's you, you may need some professional support to work through that, to work through the reasons why you chose who you chose before, and to understand that, and to heal that so that you're not afraid of it going forward. You understand what happened instead. So I have a free training called Loving Without Losing, how to attract the love of your life without losing yourself again. And you may be interested in that. And you can find it on my website, KarenStrang-Allen.com. It's the button that says free training. So that's another reason is fear. And then the last reason, which is also not exactly an empowering reason, is dreading the process of dating. For anybody who's talked to anybody about dating, you've probably heard some horror stories about online dating and about behavior, and about, especially as a woman, I'm not picking on the guys, because there's lots of great men out there, and there's women who do dumb things when it comes to dating as well. But as a female on the other side of it, some of the male behavior, like the hey baby, it's kind of it's a very interesting world out there for sure. So part of why people dread the process, because they don't know how to navigate it. They don't know how to do it effectively. They don't have a strategy. They're just winging it and throwing Jello at a wall, and then, looking at the horror show that results. So it's really important, if you're considering getting back out there, that you do it right and you do it effectively. I have a live 1 hour free webinar next week called Finding Love in the Modern Age, where we talk about some of the challenges of modern dating and how to go about it in a more effective way. So anybody who's interested in that, I will drop the link below. So those are some of the reasons, right? And really the most important thing to realize is there's lots of good reasons why a person might want to be single for a while. They might be prioritizing their own happiness. They might be building a career. They might be, for many women, having a chance to be single is probably the first time they've ever put their own happiness first, or even asked themselves the question, what makes me happy? Women are culturally conditioned to put everybody else first, to put the kids and the partner and the family and the friends and everybody else first. And for some women, it's the first chance to really ask themselves, well, what do I want? What makes me happy? What do I want to do with my time? And then they start exploring and getting to know themselves, and exploring personal growth, and exploring their spirituality, and trying different things. And that can be just such an amazing and empowering time. If you know somebody who's single, please, if I can make a request, don't push people out dating before they're ready. It does not result in good things. And don't suggest to somebody because they're single that there's something wrong with them, or they're flawed, or that somehow they should just rush out to find somebody. as if there's, single is not a disease, I like to say. It is simply a relationship status that a person can choose, and that choice can be made in a very empowered way, depending on the person's reasons. So for anybody who is single, who's got this question before, I hope that you have some ideas on how you might answer it. The blog post goes through it a little bit in more detail. As well as some little humorous ideas as well. And if you have single friends, encourage them to get to know themselves, encourage them that to date from an empowered place, not out of desperation or not because there's something wrong with them because they're single, because there really isn't. In fact, I believe that relationships can be way more healthy if people take some time on their own first and learn how to make themselves happy, and then bring their happiness into a relationship where you're sharing your happiness with each other instead of trying to extract happiness from somebody because you're unhappy, you're lonely, you're trying to get somebody else to fix that instead of learning how to fix it for yourself. That's the work I do with women, is to help them build their confidence, rebuild their life, and date from a place of strength and confidence and knowing how to go about it in a way to choose a really good quality partner. So if you're interested in learning more, go to KarenStrangAllen.com. I hope this has been helpful for anybody who has been watching. And if you're single, embrace it, really embrace it and make it a really great period of your life. The truth is there's good and bad in everything. There's good and bad in relationships. There's good and bad in being single. So really make the best of this time and turn it into something that is going to serve you for the rest of your life and will also serve your relationships as well. That's it for me for today. I hope to see you soon. Bye.